Before Kenya was free, there was fear. Not the loud kind. The quiet kind that lives in villages, in whispers, in footsteps heard at night. The British called it an emergency. Kenyans called it survival. This is the story of the Mau Mau, not as monsters, not as myths, but as people. By the early 1900s, the best land in Kenya had been taken. Fertile soil, gone. Homes, gone. Families, pushed into reserves. Africans became laborers on land their ancestors were buried in. Taxes were forced. Passes controlled movement. Beatings enforced obedience. For many, there was no future left in peace. Resistance did not begin with guns, it began with meetings, with anger, with broken promises. Young men disappeared from villages at night. Women carried food in secret. Messages were passed quietly. The movement had no single face, no uniforms, no headquarters. It became known as the Mau Mau. Joining the Mau Mau was not casual. An oath was taken. It bound people to the land, to each other, and to secrecy. Breaking it was unthinkable. Not because of fear alone, but because betrayal meant the suffering of everyone. The British feared the oath because it created loyalty they could not control. The forest became home. It was cold, wet, and honestly, unforgiving. Food was scarce, and starting a fire risked discovery. Disease killed quietly. Fighters moved often, slept lightly, and, well, listened constantly. Weapons were few, some rifles were shared, and many tools were homemade. Yet the forest protected them. It hid them, fed them, and taught them how to disappear. The colonial government responded with force. Villages were cleared, homes burned, and entire communities were moved into camps. Anyone suspected of helping the Mau Mau could be arrested without trial. Torture became common, and informants were rewarded. Fear spread everywhere. The war was not only in the forest, it was in families. Some fighters were captured, some were forced to talk. Brother turned against brother, friend against friend, not always from choice, but from pain. The Mau Mau lost leaders, supply lines broke, the forest grew quieter, but the idea did not die. Thousands were imprisoned, men worked until collapse, women were humiliated, many never returned home, graves were unmarked, names were lost. The world did not see this clearly at the time, but Kenya remembers. By the late 1950s, the Mau Mau were weakened militarily, but politically, everything had changed. The cost of ruling Kenya had become too high. The empire realized control was no longer guaranteed. In 1963, Kenya became independent, not because the Mau Mau won every battle, but because they proved that fear could be challenged. They were called terrorists, they were called criminals, but they were farmers, workers, sons and daughters of the land. The forest fought back because the people had nothing left to lose. And if you walk through those forests today, they are quiet, but not empty. Don't forget to hit that plus button.